Love coffee. Good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. I'm so excited to be with you and always excited to share the news with my fine, lovely audience. Good to see Jeff Majors on. Jeff, a longtime listener. Great guy, great follow on X too. So go check him out. But folks, I see Heidi G is in the house. Ron Smith is in the house. Larry Nunn is in the house. A bunch of you. Smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from. And folks, never forget the biggest enemy you have is the Fed. That's right. And 1995, 2005, 2025. Does anybody feel the pain of this picture? See, because the 100 is the new 20. And a lot of this happened during the Biden years. You remember how crazy rampant inflation was during those years. Food prices have actually gone up just exponentially. One of the challenges is that we do not have enough cows in the country right now, folks. Our inventory of cattle is so far down, and that's due to, and this is one of the great things that Trump has really taken on, which is bringing through tariffs more production here at home, because we were getting so much beef from Argentina, Brazil, places like this, that our beef stockpiles in the U.S. have gone way down. So I just bought another cow. Anyway, smash that like again if you would. And also, I'm going to share, to start this off, I've got a big story on Tim Walz here in Minnesota, which is my home state. If you didn't know, I'm from Minnesota. But I'm going to share with you a little bit about funding of PBS. Just to get this started, I want a good entertaining video, something that shows you the vast dichotomy the vast dichotomy of what they try to present to you and what actually is real. So check it out.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl.
How it
grow
works.
up to be a lady.
The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish.
Elmo, Cookie, are you ready to see my monster piece?
Ready, Jonathan!
Mama Bear, some runway music, please.
Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here today to talk to you about two very important feelings. And those two important feelings are happy and sad.
And we loved meeting Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg helped make lots of amazing changes happen. She was a total hero.
If anyone could be your neighbor, who would you choose?
I think it would be fun to have Michelle Obama as my neighbor.
Was that Michelle or Big Mike? Anyways, folks, this is the kind of trash that they are taking your tax dollars to fund. Absolute mental illness on display. Here we go.
No, bully!
Yes, you bully.
What is bully?
Help me explain bully.
What's happening? Why are these people together?
Oh, well, they're gathering together to protest.
They look upset. Are the protesters sad?
They look upset. Are the protesters sad? This stuff is unreal.
They are sad and upset, and they have every right to be, Elmo. What we are seeing is people saying enough is enough. They want to end racism.
The mouth on the drag queen goes blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that put out by Media Research Council, Brett Bozell over there. Folks, this is the kind of crap. They will come after the kids. This is why the education system is so important. That's why these states that have instituted school choice have gone up so high in test scores. The education lobby has long told you that that wouldn't be the case, that you would be taking money away from the valuable institution of public schools. And instead, we're seeing just the opposite, how terribly not valuable they are. So that's Sesame Street. I mean, and some of you probably watched it as a kid. It wasn't quite as woke. It was still dumb back then. Don't kid yourself. All right. Now, I'm going to share one more fun video, and then we're going to get into Timmy. Little Timmy, my friend. But I do have to mention my sponsor, Birch Gold. That's right. Okay, I believe Trump's doing a great job. I know people are turning on him. It just really blows my mind. He's moving mountains for the good of the nation, folks. He is doing amazing things for the economy. But it's always going to be your responsibility for your own finances. I'm a big believer in gold and silver. You do what you want to, but in the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. In the last 6 months, gold is up by 22.2%. Silver's doing well also. They're industrial metals. Don't forget that. They always have industrial inherent intrinsic value. It's never been worth nothing. I've bought stocks that did lose 35% of their value in one day due to accounting irregularities. So I found this to be a much better investment. You can easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold or silver. You can buy it. You can store it. Okay. Text Lumberjack to 989-898. Again, that's Lumberjack to 989-898 to get your free info kit on gold and silver, folks. Okay. There's no obligation. Just useful information. Let's check this out. I'm going to show you this. Just another fun one before we get into little Timmy.
Are Americans afraid of climate change? And the answer is Americans aren't afraid of climate change. Climate activists have not successfully made the case to the American people. I want you to take a look here.
Okay, yeah, I want you guys to take a look at this. Now, we're going to run our own Lumberjack Logic poll in the chat. Are you afraid of climate change? Yes or no? Look at these. I can't believe the numbers are this high, even though they're not winning on this. But comment in the chat, yes or no, afraid of climate change.
Greatly worried about climate change. We have data going all the way back since 1989. Look at that. It was 35%, 2000, 40%, 2020, 46%, and 2025, 40%, which is the exact same percentage as back in 2000. Despite all of these horrible weather events, the percentage of Americans who are greatly worried about climate change has stayed pretty gosh darn consistent, which kind of boggles the mind a little bit. Granted, everything that we see on our television screens, our computer screens, the hurricanes, tornadoes, the flooding, but yet greatly worried about climate change, 40% in 2025, the exact same percentage as back in 2000. Are Americans afraid of climate change?
Okay.
And the answer is
no.
Americans aren't afraid of climate change.
So the tactics aren't working. The majority of Americans are not afraid of this like they want them to be. Okay? This is wild stuff that they have propagated this for this long, and that's still 40% are that concerned about it. Blows my mind. I did not see a single person in my chat who was concerned or worried about this. You know what you should be worried about? This kind of stuff. Okay? I mean, Muslim extremism. Go look at Europe right now. Okay? They're trying to take your eye off what's really going on, which is unvetted, unchecked, crazy, illegal immigration in Europe and America that is leading to these problems. And as you saw, I mean, we had a lot of people crossing the southern border that were from these Middle Eastern states, young military-age men, that the Trump administration has done the hard work of getting them out of here. So you remember the Iranians that after we bombed the nuclear facility in Iran, Trump was rounding those up, and many of them were from my home state of Minnesota, okay? This is a bigger concern. Look at all these. Beirut Embassy, Israeli Olympic team, all of it, Muslim extremists, okay? Show you one other thing really quick. This is, I think, one of the best things ever. Okay, people are now using the ICE Block app, originally created to help illegals avoid ICE raids, to falsely report ICE sightings and force them to clear out of grocery stores. Have you guys ever thought of doing this? You want to clear a freeway, you can get things all cleared out for yourselves now, because all you have to do is use the ICE Block app, which was designed to let illegals know where ICE raids might be taking place. And they're using the app and saying, so this is an hour ago, I walked into a Walmart near a major city and used the ICE Block app to indicate ICE was in the area. I saw like 40 people leave with nothing. They just left while I perused the produce section near the door. I think I just entered my villain arc. Folks, This is funny crap. I don't care who you are. That's genius. And I saw people proposing this when the Ice Block app came out. They're like, hey, we just need to start reporting false rates and false ice sightings. I'm just saying, you can use these things to your advantage. And, you know, this is, I mean, you send in these fake ice locations. You got to use what the left is using against them. Okay, it's beautiful. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, all right. Now let's get on to little Timmy. Timmy Walls, my friends. Timmy Walls. Okay, so this, I want you to watch this. It's only 5 minutes, but watch this. We're gonna watch it in its entirety. This is all true. This is Tim Walls in congressional testimony. Okay, which is then going to pull me into the next story of what's going on here in Minnesota. But you need to understand what this all originates from and why Timmy is so wedded to this issue. It's absolutely mind-numbing. I mean, this guy's a nut job. So is his daughter. So is his wife.
Governor, I'm going to run through a series of facts before I get to my questions, so let's get started.
Sorry.
Governor Walz, you signed the Health and Human Services Omnibus Bill into law in May of 2023. That bill expanded Minnesota Care to provide free health care to illegal aliens. You signed the Higher Education Omnibus Bill into law in May of 2023. That bill allows illegals to have their college tuition paid for by the state. You signed the Driver's License for All Act into...
Did you guys know Trump just ended yesterday paying for trade schools for illegal immigrants? I didn't even know that was a thing at the federal level. We are paying for... So we're going to pay so illegal immigrants can get this education to replace American workers. Does that piss you off? I mean, I found that out. I didn't even know that was going on. I did not even know it was a thing. And that just changed yesterday, thanks to the Trump administration.
The law in March of 2023, and that bill allows illegals to receive driver's licenses. So you claim you're not a sanctuary state. You just provide free health care, free college, and driver's licenses to illegal aliens. One reason you're here testifying before us today is because you refuse to cooperate with ICE. While states like Florida and Virginia empower their law enforcement to detain and remove criminal illegal aliens, you, sir, have done just the opposite. Your attorney general is directing law enforcement to ignore ICE immigration detainers. Do you agree with the attorney general's guidance?
Well, Congressman, it's good to see you again, and thank you for being here. First, I would say, as my job as governor of Minnesota is to make Minnesota the best state in the nation.
Do you agree with the attorney general's guidance?
Congressman, what I would say on this is that Minnesota follows all law. I would say
it's a very easy question. And again, if you claim you're not a sanctuary state, you just claim that you support policies. You're not a sanctuary state, but you support policies that prevent ICE from doing their job.
Congressman,
isn't that right?
That is incorrect, Congressman. We follow the same laws when you were in the Minnesota House. The law has not changed,
If you'll allow me, I've got limited time. Well, that's what you tweeted, by the way, sir. And on May 23rd, 2018, you tweeted, quote, "I support policies that keep law enforcement from enforcing federal laws," close quote. On May 17th, just this spring at the University of Minnesota Law School's commencement ceremony, you said, quote, "Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets." When you said the words modern-day Gestapo, you were referring to ICE agents. Gestapo, by the way, sir, was the official secret police of Hitler's Nazi Germany. So you're calling ICE agents modern-day Nazis. Given the attacks on ICE agents that took place in Los Angeles over the weekend.
Okay, now, so this is a little while ago. So there was Los Angeles. We just had 11 people arrested in Texas. Okay? You guys saw that story. They're trying to kill ICE agents.
Don't you regard your dangerous inflammatory rhetoric as a problem?
The questions you want me to answer first.
So, sir, it saddens me that you refuse to express regret from comparing ICE to Nazis. ICE agents are brave Americans who get up every morning, leave their families, and put their lives in harm's way to protect our country, sir. You, at the very least, owe an apology to these dedicated public servants. I will say, sir, inflammatory rhetoric such as yours and the other governors on this panel is responsible for putting a target on the back of every ICE agent who is risking their life to protect our communities. Minnesota is all too familiar, by the way, with the chaos that ensues when you refuse to work with law enforcement to enforce the law. In May 2020, looting, acts of violence, and arson occurred on your watch in Minneapolis after you refused to bring in the National Guard. Governor, your agenda is clear. Free healthcare, free college and driver's licenses for illegals while handcuffing law enforcement when they're trying to protect our citizens and their communities. If you think that's not a sanctuary state, you shouldn't be governor. By turning Minnesota into a magnet for illegals, you have opened up our communities to dangerous criminals, including known terrorists, gang members, murderers, and child predators. You have sent a resounding message that if you're a hardworking, law-abiding citizen of Minnesota, your safety and well-being are not the priorities of Tim Walz and his administration. But if you're coming to our state illegally, you're not only welcome with open arms, you're entitled to free stuff on the taxpayer's dime. This is absolutely disgraceful. Governor Walz, your sanctuary state agenda has been defined by your utter failure. You have failed to enforce the rule of law. You have failed to uphold our national sovereignty. And most importantly, you have failed the people of Minnesota. The time for radical sanctuary state policy, sir, is over. The voters made that clear last November when they elected President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. You remember him, don't you? Governor, the time for real leaders and real leadership is now. And with that, sir, actually, Mr. Chairman,
So that's okay. So that is a complete indictment of Tim Walz. That's his policy. So here's what's got Timmy so upset now. I don't know how many of you have heard this, but just yesterday in St. Paul, Minnesota, St. Paul arrested convicted sexual predators. Okay. Pull this back in. So this is going on right now. During a targeted enforcement operation, ICE St. Paul arrested convicted sexual predators. Governor Walz and his fellow sanctuary politicians are fighting to keep these offenders and other criminal illegal aliens in our country. And now here are the people that ICE arrested, and this is what's got Tim Walz upset. You need to understand, he is crazy upset about this. ICE arrested Peo Angelo Vang, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of second degree sexual on a child on June 6th of 2025. ICE arrested him. Tim doesn't like that. Little Timmy doesn't like that. ICE arrested Thong Leo, a Laotian criminal, illegal, convicted of second degree. Again, assault on a child. Sexual assault on a child. June 6, 2025. Here we have ICE arrested Chuopoli. Sorry, these names, I don't have them. A Thai criminal, illegal alien convicted of soliciting a minor on June 6, 2025. I thought Trump wasn't doing anything about pedophiles. Anyways, moving along, ICE arrested Wei Vang, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of first degree sexual assault on June 6, 2025. ICE arrested Zhang Pao Vang, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of lewd or lascivious acts with a child under 14. Oh, because that's glorious. Okay. On June 6, 2025, ICE arrested Yi She, a Thai criminal, illegal alien convicted of first degree sexual abuse of a minor on June 6, 2025. ICE arrested Yai Zhang, a Laotian criminal, illegal convicted of third degree criminal sexual conduct on June 6, 2025. ICE arrested Pok View, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of fourth degree criminal sexual conduct on June 10, 2025. ICE arrested Hu Nei Cheng, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of first degree criminal sexual conduct on June 11, 2025. ICE arrested Vang Nang Leo, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of second degree criminal sexual conduct on June 11, 2025. ICE arrested Deo Ma, a Laotian criminal, illegal alien convicted of third degree criminal sexual conduct on June 6, 2025. So, folks, these are the people that Tim Walz wants to protect here in Minnesota. Why? Simply because they're illegals. Now, I can guarantee you, beyond the shadow of a doubt, if these were white male Trump supporters, they would be throwing the book at them like mad. But instead, because they're criminal illegals and they're convicted of these most heinous crimes, they are protected under the Walz regime. And Walz has just been embarrassed on the national stage by Donald Trump's administration and ICE, and he's pissed off about it. Okay? Great question. Great question, AC. Since he is, and he's basically harboring and protecting these criminal illegals who are committing these lewd acts. It's wild. I don't know. It blows my mind that these people. Let's go back to this real quick. I want to show you something else here in this feed. So I want to show you some of the comments down below. I truly don't believe anything you say anymore. You've lied so much. How's the hair extensions holding up? So this is a liberal responding, holding up with the tornadoes over DC at the moment. Better be sure they're on firmly. Okay. They actually have criminal charges against these people. They are here illegally. Red Angel 64. Sure, it'd be nice if you started arresting sex offenders in suits and ties instead of the ones in t-shirts. Okay. That's happening too, folks. Again, people, they arrested the heads of a large international criminal pedophile ring. That happened. We've arrested over 1,000 pedophiles. Okay. But I like this. Electric Avenue says, wouldn't the simple answer be to arrest the governors harboring illegals and telling those who with expired visas to stay? The longer it's allowed to continue, the more all these radical groups are given time to unite as it becomes more socially acceptable, right? So here, I'm going to show you something really crazy. So here's Governor Timmy Walz. Now, there's a thing with his legal bills. I'll get into that in a second too, but 250,000 more Minnesotans at risk of devastating medical bills, higher energy prices, rural hospital closures, and longer ambulance wait times. None of this is worth a tax cut for billionaires. Congress needs to reject this bill. Trump's tax cuts have always favored the middle class. I don't know if you're aware of that. They've always favored the middle class. Actually, it was Congress that forced through the SALT, that's the state and local taxes, deduction to go up to $40,000. That was Congress that forced that through. Trump wanted to keep that at the levels that it was at. He limited that, which is what pissed blue state governors off because they charge excessive taxes and then people were able to deduct it on their federal taxes. Trump was making a strong statement in his first administration that, hey, we're capping this at $10,000. Now, sausage making out of Congress, whatever, the big beautiful bill got done. There was enough good stuff in it. We had to eat some stuff we didn't want to, and that is the nature of politics. But look at this. So they talk about how Medicaid, both the House and Senate reconciliation bills, make foundational changes to the existing federal-state government partnership that supports Medicaid. National estimates indicate that implementing these changes could result in over 250,000 Minnesotans losing coverage. The Minnesota Department of Health and Human Services estimates lost federal funding to the state of approximately $500 million per year. Now, I got a trivia question for you. Why would Minnesota be losing that much money in Medicaid funding? Tell me. I want to see it in the chat. Do you know why Minnesota would be losing that much money in Medicaid funding? Come on, folks. You know. Let's go. This is it. It's right here. Now, fraud. Unfortunately, it's not because of the illegals. Here's the thing that really ticks me off. Don't you remember the Senate parliamentarian made us keep the whole deal in there? Now, although I think it does deal with illegals in some shape here in Minnesota. But do you remember what the Senate parliamentarian did to strip the defunding of illegals out of Medicaid and take that out of the big, beautiful bill, said it couldn't be done because of the Byrd rule? Do you remember all this? Well, so there's a lot of people on Medicaid who are perfectly able to work. Did y'all know that? Our Medicaid dollars are being robbed by able-bodied citizens who are perfectly able to work. Now, Medicaid, as my understanding, was there strictly for disability and for older people who had paid into the system, right? And so Medicaid funding was for those people. Isn't that what you guys always understood? Not for able-bodied citizens? So all of a sudden we have to clean up this fraud in Medicaid. And of course, since the blue state governors are basically buying votes by giving all this crap to people, they're upset. Blows my mind. Okay. All right. Move on. Now, here's something else that's interesting. Look at this. Look at this on Little Timmy. So our Department of Health and Human Services draws attention to the state's explicitly racist hiring practices. DHS is updating its hiring justification policy, which requires it to justify whenever it hires a non-underrepresented candidate, in other words, read non-white male, for a job where underrepresentation is said to exist. This also under Tim Walz in the state of Minnesota. We are now discriminating against people based upon their skin color, okay? Employees may be subject to disciplinary action, up to and including termination for failure to comply with these policies. Tell me that's not disgusting. And still, in spite of all of this, people, to show you how lost the Democrat Party is, out of Alpha News, look at this. New poll shows Walz has potential as presidential candidate among Democrat voters. Overton Insights found that if frontrunner Kamala Harris is still their frontrunner. I know. She is still their frontrunner. I mean, let me ask you a question. I mean, in all seriousness, I'll get back to this in just a second, but another question for my chat. Can you guys believe that Kamala Harris is still their frontrunner? Like, she's apparently the best they have to offer according to the Democrat base. They want Kamala. Can you guys believe this? I mean, I can't. Apparently they like losing. I don't know. All right, let's go back to this, though. So, he apparently, if Kamala is out, is the frontrunner tied with Pete Buttigieg and Gavin Newsom. That's right. I mean, they're trying to attract white males, apparently, and they've determined that the answer is the homosexual from a small town mayor who, you know, likes to breastfeed with some chest thingy, and Gavin Newsom, who everybody knows was lying to them ad nauseum, and Tim Walz, who likes to pretend he can fix trucks. This is what they have to go after the working class voters, folks. Let me ask you a question. I mean, this is really quite serious. I mean, do you think that the Democrats can win with this strategy? I mean, do you honestly, yes or no? I mean, this is a serious question. Do you believe they can win with this strategy? I've got a caveat to this. It's going to get really interesting here. Do you guys believe that they can win with this strategy? Tim says no. Trisha says no. We've got another no. I'm just watching. No. Okay, here we go. Somebody gets it. Cat and hat. Exactly. I think people, this is a real thing, folks. When are we going to same day paper ballot voting? When are we going back to same day in-person paper ballot voting? Do not kid yourself. These people are jokes. Okay? But the apparatus behind them is not. Notice how the Democrats are running terrible candidates. Jasmine Crockett, J-Pal, AOC, Ilhan Omar. What's that guy I got a picture with out in DC? Come on, help me out. You guys know, you guys been watching the show. What was his name? Come on, Fang Fang. What's his name? The guy with Fang Fang. Oh, they got what's the senator out in California? Schiff, Adam Schiff. What is his name? What is that dude's name? The Fang Fang guy. Help me out. Come on, audience, help me out here. Swalwell. That's right, Swalwell. Okay, this is who they run. Why? They need stooges they can control. These people don't have independent thoughts. Blows my mind. They're just pathetic. All right. But they do have an apparatus. Okay. They also have rage. Look at this. Out of the Washington Examiner, disturbing glimpses of Democratic anger. Okay. We know many Democrats were stunned when Donald Trump won a second term as president. We know many are still angry about it, but we're just now learning how angry some of them are. It's not just grandstanding Democratic lawmakers like Crockett. Axios reports that at town halls in their districts and in one-on-one meetings with constituents and activists, Crockett's more centrist Democratic House colleagues are facing a growing thrum of demands to break the rules, fight dirty, and not be afraid to get hurt. Our own base is telling us that what we're doing is not good enough. Some of them have suggested that what we really need to do is be willing to get shot in protests at ICE facilities, that there needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public. Another lawmaker told Axios that civility isn't working. That's what his constituents are telling him. And to get ready for violence, to fight to protect our democracy. Obviously, these are Democrats who have moved beyond the defeat them at the ballot box stage of politics. Violence is already going on. In Alvarado, Texas, a militant group broadly aligned with Democratic views launched what officials call a coordinated attack on the ICE Prairieland Detention Center on the 4th of July. We talked about this. Okay, 10 to 12 Antifa radicals dressed all in black began shooting fireworks toward the building. Some began to vandalize parked cars when unarmed ICE workers called 911. An Alvarado police officer arrived. Immediately after, the police officer gets out of his vehicle, an assailant in the woods opened fire, shooting the APD officer in the neck area. Then another gunman also opened fire at the unarmed Department of Homeland Security correctional officers. In total, the assailant shot approximately 20 to 30 rounds at the correctional officers. Okay? When the radicals ran away, police rounded them up. Some were still in the woods and some were escaping down a nearby road, including 7 suspects who were dressed in black military-style clothing. Now, 10 suspects were arrested and charged with attempted murder, but an 11th was also just arrested yesterday. This is the radical, violent tip of the protests against the Trump administration's enforcement of immigration law. Okay, then you got the Free Palestine, the Jew hate, all this kind of stuff. Okay, there have already been riots in Los Angeles and other protests, some with the participation of Democratic lawmakers or Democratic groups, such as labor unions, that involve varying degrees of disorderliness. Okay, finally, there's been an alarming plunge in the number of Democrats who say they are proud to be an American. Back in 2015, 80% of Democrats said they were proud to be American. Of course, Barack Obama, right? The great black hope, who was only half black, might add. He wasn't the first black president, if we're going by that. Do you guys all understand that? Yes or no in the chat? Do y'all understand that he was not the first black president if we're going to base it on the fact that he was half black? Because then people like Abraham Lincoln were black. Okay? Y'all get this, right? Okay. Today, with Trump in the White House, the number is less than half of that. It's 36%. The Democratic numbers are entirely different from the Republican numbers. In 2015, with Obama, 90% of Republicans said they were extremely or very proud to be American. Today, with Trump, the number is 92%, virtually unchanged. Isn't that interesting? Did you guys catch this? In 2015, when Obama was president, 90% of Republicans said they were extremely or very proud to be American. Today, with Trump, the number is 92%. It's virtually unchanged. Take it all together in the situation that is some Democrats are calling on their elected representatives to engage in violence against Trump policies. At the same time, groups that might be characterized as militant allies of the progressive Democratic movement are resorting to violence in an effort to obstruct the president's enforcement of federal immigration law. And I've got to comment on something here, folks. I'm going to tick some people off right now, but I'm for it. I'm here for it, man. Okay, I'm about to show you something controversial. You guys ready for controversy? How many of my audience want a little controversy? Because I'm pulling up a video right now. I'm telling you, it's going to tick people off. I guarantee you. You watch. You watch the chat light up with a bunch of people who are all upset when I share this video. Okay? And I got to pause it.
Start.
Okay. This is off Piers Morgan. I want you to listen to this lady. I want to go back to this. Okay? Shoe bomber was Muslim. Beltway snipers were Muslim. Fort Hood was Muslim. Underwear bomber. USS Cole bomber. Madrid. Okay. We just have a ship's getting attacked now over there by the Houthis again. They just sunk a ship the other day. And people are telling me that Israel is the problem. Do you see this crap out there? Watch this.
Start with the accusation of the occupation. Israel was minding its own business ever since it existed. It reached out to the Arabic world. It wanted to have peace with the Arabic world. In 1964, when the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, was founded, the West Bank was in the hands of Jordan. It was Jordan. And Gaza was in the hands of Egypt. It was Egypt. So the PLO was founded in 1964, not because of any occupation. They wanted to drive the Jews into the sea and get rid of every single Jew in the Middle East. Israel tried repeating. The only reason the Palestinians lost in 67 and they lost Gaza and the West Bank is because they preempted an attack against Israel. And over again, Israel reached out to them to make.
Yeah, this is what's so funny about it. They preempt attacks against Israel and then lose land. Whoop-de-doo. I really don't care.
Make peace with them. In 2000, Ehud Barak offered them 97% of the territories back, and they refused it again and again. Do
you guys remember all this? Offered them 97% of the territories back, but they know they don't want peace.
And again, in 2005, when Israel withdrew out of Gaza, they said, okay, we're going to give you your own state. We're going to give you your own territory. Israel forcibly removed its own people fighting the IDF by force, removed them out of Gaza. Not only to remove the people, they dug out dead Jews' bones from the cemeteries because they knew exactly what the Palestinians are going to do to the cemeteries. So in 2005, when Israel withdrew out of Gaza, there wasn't one Jew alive or dead in Gaza. They turned over the key to them and said, okay, great. Now build your own place. You are independent. I know people that Israel even left them the greenhouses. Israel was exporting 50 million flowers to Europe in 2004 out of Gaza. The greenhouses, the fruits, the vegetables, the flowers. They left them to the Palestinians so the Palestinians can start they can have an industry where they can support themselves. I know a businessman from New York who even raised $14 million to make sure the Palestinians will be able to get paid salaries as they move over and they continue building the greenhouses. And what did the Palestinians do within 24 hours after Israel withdrew? Not only they destroyed every single Jewish synagogue in the area, they destroyed the greenhouses, ripped out the pipe, and even stole the copper out of the pipe.
Probably needed to use the pipe for pipe bombs, folks. Okay, this is what the leaders of those people do that they elected. Don't kid yourself. Hamas was elected by these people. I'm not saying there aren't civilians over there who don't want Hamas there. There are, okay? There are people in Iran who don't want the Iranian leadership there. That's real. But they need to fight their own civil war to oust those people. Instead, these quote-unquote leaders, these people, take the greenhouses that were left behind so they could have industry, and they destroyed it. It's pathetic.
And then they had an election. So in their first election, the first woman elected to the cabinet of Hamas was a woman by the name Nidal, the mother of al-Mukawama, they called her, the mother of the resistance. And she ran on the platform I killed 3 of my sons because she had videos of her sons, she dressing them in suicide bombers to go kill Israelis. She said, I already gave up 3 for the cause. I have another 7 to give.
Wow.
That's why she was elected. So that's the democratic election for Hamas. Israel did not put the Palestinians in a prison in Gaza. Hamas put the Palestinians in a prison in Gaza. Gaza could have been turned into Singapore. They had the money. They had more money pouring into the Palestinian territories and still do from all over the world. And what did they do with it? Build a tunnel infrastructure underneath bigger than the subway system in New York instead of helping their people. So those who scream about the occupation, the Palestinians have brought this on themselves again and again and again.
Wow. Yeah, wow is right, buddy. He's probably over there. Oh, wow, I can't believe she said that. All right, because it's true. Here's the thing, okay? We've got our own problems to fix here in America, okay? We don't need to solve all of Israel's problems. Israel seems to be doing a pretty good job of it. But what's really pathetic is that those tunnels that they built, do you know where those funds came from? How many of you, look, you see in the chat, how many of you know where the funds came from to build all their tunnels? Where did the money come from? Okay, so who's funding this crap? It just blows my ever-loving mind that we're funding Israel's Iron Dome, and then we fund Hamas through quote-unquote relief efforts. And then they take the water pipes and turn them into rockets. Blows my mind. Gosh, I'm so glad Trump is back in there. And I am so glad that USAID is losing its funding. Okay? And UNWAR and all this kind of crap. Okay? And you know, people say, I cannot believe that people turn on Trump. And it just blows my ever-loving mind. The guy has done more for this country. He has taken a bullet to the head. He has actually had multiple assassination attempts. And people are like, oh, Trump this, Trump that. And then all of a sudden he allows some Ukraine to have defensive missile strategies. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I trust Trump's gut. Trump does not want war. He doesn't want to go to war. Okay? But he's tired of Putin's BS, because obviously Putin isn't playing it straight with him. Trump says he's always got nice calls. He always talks to me nice, but it's all BS. Well, if that's what Trump says, you know what? I tend to believe him. And if he believes, okay, that he needs to give Ukraine defensive missiles so civilian populations aren't destroyed, I'm okay with it. And if you aren't, I mean, that's your right. It's your right not to be okay with it. You can totally do that. But I'm just telling you, I'm not throwing Trump under the bus because of that. I just can't believe the number of people who do. I think, Trump is truly the best president I've had in my lifetime. Okay? So folks, go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com /lumberjack, or call the 1-800 number at 1-800-568 1-800-568-2865. I got the free shipping put back on for you people. So free shipping on your entire order, $100 in free digital gifts when you order $75 or more. The dog beds are $39.98. The Giza sheets, that just came up. Holy cats! Oh, they gave me that one too. $49.98 for Giza sheets are back with free shipping. Oh, go get yourself some. And get this, free shipping on the mattresses and mattress toppers are included in that. And if you want the percale sheets, $29.98. Wow, folks, he just did this for me today. Gosh, he loves you guys. Loves my audience. Loves my audience. Go support Mike. Go get your Christmas gifts early. MyPillow.com /lumberjack. Or again, call the 800 number. That's what I always tell people. Call the 800 number, 1-800-568-2865. And folks, thanks so much for joining me today. Hopefully you like the show. I know I stir up a little controversy at times, but there are things that I firmly believe, and I don't believe that the Israelis are the bad people in this scenario who are constantly being attacked by Hamas, by Iranian proxies. I can't believe people were that upset about Trump doing a surgical strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. when they wanted to take out our president. You do realize that the thing about Iran wanting to take out Donald Trump was real. The leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, he even said it publicly. They wanted people to take out our president. And people get upset that he takes out their nuke facility. Come on, man. Come on. You know, anyways, I love you folks. I know some of you disagree with me at times. I disagree with you. Hopefully we can still like each other. I just try to bring you the stuff. All right. We'll see you on the next episode. If you're new, please subscribe. Peace out.